Today we're going to be covering trapezoids, and since we're going to be covering trapezoids at a first glance, I feel like we need to cover some of the basic stuff, such as what is a trapezoid? Well, a trapezoid is a quadrilateral with one pair of parallel sides, or in other words, a four-sided polygon that has at least one pair of parallel sides. And in this example given on the figure at the right, sides C and D and AB are parallel. These sides are also called bases. And some other things you should know about trapezoids are the legs, which are the other two sides of a trapezoid, and in this case they are sides AC and BD. And the altitude is the shortest distance between the two bases, which were AB and CD. So just to review really quick, bases are the parallel sides, the legs are the other two sides, and the altitude is the shortest distance between the two bases. And to look at a couple of examples of trapezoids here, let's try to figure out where the sides are. So the figure on the left, let's take a look at that one first. Alright, so we have sides G and F, GE, EH, and HF. Now the question is, which two sides are the bases? And remember, the bases are the sides of a trapezoid that are parallel. And just from looking at it, we can see that sides H and F and G and E probably are not going to be parallel, which means that sides GF and EH are the bases. So the other two sides, the GE and HF, are going to be the legs. And remember, the altitude of a trapezoid is going to be the shortest distance between the two bases, which were GF and EH. Now let's take a look at the figure on the right. We have JK, KI, IL, and LJ. And like we did on the figure on the left, we can take a ballpark look and safely assume that sides JL and KI are not going to be the parallel sides. So that means sides JK and IL are going to be the bases, which leaves sides JL and KI to be the legs. And like I showed you on the example on the left, the altitude is always the shortest distance between the two bases, which would be horizontal in this case. Alright, moving on. To cover the basics about perimeter and area, with any polygon really, the perimeter is going to be the sum of all the sides. So if you know the length of the sides, you're going to know the perimeter. It's simple as that. However, the area is the tricky part. The area of a trapezoid is the average of the bases multiplied by the altitude, or in a formular sense, A is equal to 1/2 times the quantity of B1 plus B2 times A, where B1 and B2 are the bases and A is the altitude. So let's try it out. We have a trapezoid here, and you see that the bases are 3 and 5, and the altitude is 4. So let's take a look at our formula. A is equal to 1/2 B1 plus B2 times the altitude. And remember, B1 plus B2 divided by 2 is the average of the two bases. So we'll plug in our numbers and get A equals 1/2 times the quantity of 3 plus 5 times 4, which is 1/2 times 8 times 4, and to reduce it down gets you 4 times 4, which is 16. Now, just so you know, trapezoids are just one component of quadrilaterals, which is what we're going to be going over in our chapter. For the most part, that is all you need to know. The area, and just some key terms there. The bases, the legs, and the altitude. And if you look in your book in section 2.2, you'll see examples, and you'll see problems that revolve around trapezoids. So go ahead, look through this presentation again, and check out some of those practice problems. And hopefully by Monday, you'll have a firm grasp of what trapezoids are all about.